Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. Today I want to talk about SoftBank again. But this is not about the troubles that Masayoshi san is facing. We all know what is the trouble he is facing. Basically, the markets are collapsing and he is highly leveraged and he is paying the price. Most of his companies are privately held, not profitable, and therefore are not attracting capital. They are forced to lay off staff and there is no way he can list them. Even his listed companies are not making profits except Alibaba. Alibaba, one of his greatest successes, is under tremendous pressure from the Chinese government. All this has meant that he has to sell one of his crown jewels. His crown jewel is ARM Holdings. ARM Holdings was acquired in 2016 by him for a fancy price of 24.6 billion US dollars, and he became the owner of ARM Holdings. ARM is a British startup which designs chips. You could call ARM Holding a very important crown jewel because it is the most important part of the semiconductor industry. You could also call it the Switzerland of semiconductors because this meant that their technology was fairly available to everybody at a license, and therefore their technology drives most of the chips across the world. They license their software and their technology to one and all, to whoever who was willing to pay, irrespective of size. And they were neutral. This meant all chips made in the world at some point have AM technology stamp on them. And therefore, this was the perfect company for SoftBank to control. SoftBank wouldn't have sold this company if it had not run into trouble with the other investments he made, such as Voyo and ride hailing app Grab, and also the Chinese version of it, Didi. All this put enormous pressure on him, and he had to find cash. ARM Holdings is one of the few companies he has through which he can generate this money. At first, what he tried when he took over in 2016, he said the future is the internet, and therefore ARM Holdings would pivot and make chips for the Internet of Things. Unfortunately for Masayoshi san, things didn't play out as quickly as he thought it would, and the chips he made for the internet really did not pick up at the pace at which he thought it would, forcing ARM Holding to pivot. By then, his troubles in other places became well known. Therefore, to raise cash, he was talking about selling this to Nvidia. Nvidia would have bought ARM Holdings and made a chip conglomerate. But this would have had a major problem because ARM Holdings would have had to cancel all its licenses to others and give Nvidia the exclusivity to use it. The authorities and regulators in the United States put paid to this deal and told him this deal could not take place. This deal was valued at $66.5 billion. Then Masayoshi san did the next best thing. He said he would list this company and take it public, and he would sell a majority of his stake. Since this company is a British company, everybody thought that the listing would be in the London Stock Exchange. SoftBank refused and said the listing would most likely be in NASDAQ because he is getting favorable terms there. There has been intense lobbying from Britain to make sure that the ARM Holding stays as a British company because it is one of those few British companies that have succeeded widely beyond imagination and is a poster boy for British innovation. To such an extent, some of the parliamentarians have said that the British government should get a golden share in ARM Holding and decide on the future of it. But all that has come to naught, and Smosi san is talking about listing in NASDAQ. Unfortunately for him, by the time he decided that he would list it in NASDAQ, the markets have spectacularly collapsed. Leave the bounce in the last week, it will get sold into in due course of time. Therefore, he may not get the valuation that he desires. So, he is in a catch 22 situation where he needs cash. No, he has a valuable asset. And the valuable asset, because it's the Switzerland of semiconductor industry, cannot be sold to anybody. And therefore, if he lists it, it will be at a discount. But he needs to list it because of his pressures. Now, Qualcomm has entered the fray. Qualcomm says it will not take control of the company, but is willing to put a significant amount of capital and take a big stake in ARM Holdings. It is also said rivals of Qualcomm, other semiconductor manufacturers, are also interested in investing in ARM Holdings. Look, there is a chat. There is a chatter that a consortium of semiconductors will invest in ARM Holdings. So, to ensure that the future control does not go into unknown hands and put pressure on the global chip industry, which is already reeling because of supply chain problems which came out of COVID. So, it is very clear that a consortium of semiconductor manufacturers led by Qualcomm are interested in taking a big stake in the IPO headed ARM Holdings to make sure that the neutrality with which it's licensing its chips technology continues. The consortium says that if its value is right, the consortium does not mind taking over ARM Holdings and ring fencing it as a separate company and continue its current policies of investing in technology R&D and licensing this chip technology to one and all who is willing to pay the requisite fees and the licensing charges. What will happen to ARM Holdings basically depends upon what will happen to SoftBank. If the values of the asset market continues to fall, Mosey-san will be under huge pressure to sell this company at the price he is getting and liquidate so that he will be able to get out of trouble. The battle for ARM Holdings has just got interesting. Thank you for watching. Be rich. If you like the content, kindly subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified about a new video that has been released. Once again, I urge you to share this content with your friends and relatives. Thank you for supporting Be Rich. I have written two books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.